Buongiorno e benvenuti. Welcome to Art Yoga Pills with me, your host, Binny. In this space, we will connect and share together about creativity, inner child, and self-awareness. Siete pronti? Enjoy! Ciao a tutti, Kia ora, and welcome to a new episode of Art Yoga Pills. Today I'm not alone. I have a guest with me, and I have the special presence of Julie from Reconnect Ink. How are you, Julie, today?
Hi, Dini. Thank you for inviting me. And I'm a bit stressed because it's my first podcast recording ever. But apart of that, it's good.
Well, I'm glad that I can be the icebreaker for you and see how this conversation will support both of us to discover a little bit more of the world of art in your own terms. So I'm really curious about this and happy that you accept my invitation for this opportunity.
Mm.
So the reason why I know you is because, well, it's been a week and a half ago, I finally came to your studio to make a tattoo that to me is very important and connected with the project of art yoga that I have. And I think that the first time that I find one of your posts on Instagram was about 3 or 4 years ago. So it took me a long time
Mm-hmm.
to see you, meet you in person, and have a beautiful conversation around what you do. So I wanted to extend this sharing also for this type of format. And the first question for who is listening in this moment to get them to know you a little bit more is should be really easy, but is always depending on what is into our mind in this present moment. So my first question, if you wish to share, is who is Julie? And you can feel free to share either personally or professionally, or mix the both of two together if you like.
Mm-hmm. So mm, for me, it was always a bit awkward to call myself artist because it feels so professional, and I've never really felt like, even though I studied art and all of that, and I've been doing art my whole life since I was a kid. Since I remember, I've been always drawing and doing little sculptures from leaves and sticks and all of that and rocks. Um, and yeah, I kind of just kept doing it until I got into this point when it became my profession. Um, so I work as a tattoo artist, and yeah, a part of that I do illustrations and all other forms of art that helps me to balance myself in my life.
Mhm.
Hmm. It's a really good form of meditation and reconnecting with myself. That was actually yeah, because there was this thing that happened to me maybe 2 years ago. Someone hacked all my accounts, and I had to change my name of my business, or the name of my how I present myself in social media. And I was thinking a lot what to choose as my name and how to call this new chapter. And I actually think reconnecting is the perfect name for, like, all sorts of reconnectings are happening through what I do. I feel like I chose right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's me trying to reconnect myself with me and myself with people and people with art, and yeah, and I think Yeah, that's me.
Thank you so much, Julie.
Mm,
It's definitely something that I would like to explore this new chapter of your life with Reconnect Ink. But I'm also curious to explore before the part of yourself in your initial sharing when you are
mm,
considering yourself still uh, struggling with giving ourselves the credit to be artist, and I'm putting myself into the basket as well because I have that title
mm,
too, but I hide it in my wardrobe under my carpet, and I try to don't think about it. And I wonder for you, possibly even through this new chapter of your life, how that type of connection was created initially when you start to open your notebook and allowing other people to look
mm,
into that, when that point possibly in your life happened to
mm,
appear again after childhood, I assume, because I was also a kid that used to really enjoy having always a lot of colors and my notebook to paint on at any time, but not many people actually could see what there was inside. So I wonder for you
mhm,
when that point in your journey started.
mhm. Um, so before I became a tattoo artist, I used to paint, uh, and I was a freelancer for maybe, I don't know, 1.5 year. Uh, so I think that was the first time when I mm, let other people to see my paintings, and I was always really doubting if it's good enough to show or what. Not even that much about what people would think, but it feels like really exposing yourself.
Mm,
And um, I've never felt really uh, being too much confident to being that exposed. But at the same time, the art and the visual expression was the good way how to get myself being seen and not being there as myself. Like, yeah, rather, I was rather like observing people looking at my paintings and not really being there as the artist, like the one who made all of that. So yeah, I slowly, mm, yeah, I slowly started showing my paintings and my drawings, and then yeah, I had quite a few exhibitions, and it became easier over the time. Uh, but I think starting with tattooing, it was kind of another step because
mm,
you are doing something permanent, and I felt a lot of pressure in the beginning. Uh, but then over the time, I just learned how to like really be there in the present moment when I'm creating it, and I feel it can never be wrong because it's just we both are trying to make the best, kind of make the connection, and it feels like the all the tattoos are actually some kind of illustrations of the stories of my clients or of the connection we create on the session.
mm,
So I feel like it's kind of me, but at the same time it's a lot about the sharing and the cooperation.
mm,
Yeah, so that's maybe easier way how to look at it and don't feel that much the pressure of doing something permanent. Mm, yeah.
Thank you so much. Is something that I can resonate with. I definitely felt the connection. It was my first experience in sitting with a tattoo artist and growing in the depth of what I wish to have on my
Mm,
body, and see that my journey and my story was becoming something physical, like
yeah.
something with matters, not just like within my mind and my ideas and my dream, but something that I could see and imagine it into my skin. So
Mm,
yeah, for my personal experience was a really beautiful moment of connection, and it's something that either if you have or you don't have tattoo is nice to have a chance to share ourselves being heard
mm,
and finding that connection between human beings. So I
mhm,
definitely resonate with that. And plus, if there is even the component of the art and the
mm,
creativity aspect, for me is what is making it exceptional. So I
mm,
really enjoy the connection that we had in that moment, and it's a moment that it lasted a couple of hours, so that it solidified to my heart, and knowing that it's gonna be part of my story and my journey forever. And what I truly enjoy about your artwork is um is something that I can truly recognize, like the unique fingerprints, for example.
mm,
So one of those styles that if I see an artwork somewhere, I would be able to recognize it. And I wonder how that came into your journey. Still, for myself, finding myself a little bit everywhere in terms of finding my own identity through what I enjoy. And I wonder how that came into your life, if it's something that gradually you explore and develop, or is something that somehow was always
mm.
clear and definitive in the way that you're expressing yourself through art.
Um, yeah, so I can definitely see how it's changing and improving over the time. Um, and yeah, the interesting thing about tattoos for me is that sometimes my clients bring me ideas I would never really draw before them giving me the idea. Um, so I just always try to do my best, and because sometimes it's really challenging and sometimes the ideas are like super crazy, which I like in a good way. Um, yeah, that's the challenge, kind of always um, find a way how to do it in the way I would do it, even though I wouldn't do it without them asking me. Um, so I guess that's just something I don't know, the style it's just natural to me to do it that way. Mm.
Mm,
And even though I've been trying to, I don't know, simplify what I do, because sometimes I feel like I it could be too much, like too many dots and too much patterns, and it could be quite busy what I do sometimes. And even though I sometimes try to consciously focus on that and simplify it, I always end up with all of those tiny details and dots, and it's just, yeah, it's just how it flows. Yeah. So I think my tattoos are a little bit different from what I do in my other art, um, because the tattoo work is a lot about stories for me. Yeah, so as I said before, it's more like illustrating the story of my clients and trying to even make them think how they could, like, what could be the the perfect expression of what they want to carry in their skin. And sometimes it feels like, yeah, just thinking of that, how to express it, could be really helpful going through processes. Because I feel like quite a lot of my clients go for the tattoo to mark some important time of their life. Could be tough, could be nice, could be it's just always, there is always some reason and some story. And yeah, and it actually it's really nice to be part of that process. And I didn't really reply to what you asked me, but I don't really know. I just do what I just kind of try to illustrate. And
I guess that,
that's the result this time.
yeah. And I guess that probably having a subject is keeping you flowing with what you wish to
Mm,
express, or challenging yourself to trying to express what other are requesting. So sometimes, yeah, as you said, you follow the flow of what comes natural to you, but possibly having a subject might help in developing all
mhm,
these ideas and transform them into something new all the time. So yeah, I felt that the answer somehow was there and was beautiful anyway to hear your sharing, and how through it, especially this new exploration of art through tattooing, is something that makes deeper the connection that you can have with other people, not just like what you wish to create and express, but also what um, your idea of other people intention might look like
mm,
through your creation. So it's
mhm,
something so special, and I wonder how that transition began, like when you were just an artist and you realized that you could potentially expand your career, became and becoming also a tattoo artist, how that aspect started into your journey.
mhm. Yeah, so that time I was still studying my uni, I think, and I was trying all sorts of art expressions. I was doing mosaics and murals and yeah, painting and drawing and lino cut and kind of just trying the techniques. And I really like the wide range of still being like still doing the art, but having the options of the techniques. And tattooing started as one of the techniques. So I was just interested in that art form. And yeah, I just bought the equipment and I started on my partner that time actually. I didn't know anything, so I was just trying. And it felt like a good thing to explore, good technique. So I was trying to ask around in the studios if I could get some kind of apprenticeship, because back in Czech it works a little bit differently than here in New Zealand. So it's not really usual you could get the apprenticeship. So I didn't find any studio. So I was watching a YouTube videos and I was just really fascinated by how the people are able to make such a nice lines and all of that, because it looks really easy on YouTube, and then you try it and it's frustrating in the real life when you are starting and you are not even able to make a straight line, and you you can do amazing stuff on a paper, and then you try it on a fake skin or on a skin if you have some brave people around you, and it's just so hard. But I somehow had probably enough brave people around me and good good friends who supported me in that. And yeah, I was practicing on oranges and lemons. And then then I did the first tattoo for my partner that time, and then for some friends. And yeah, I slowly just started. And then I found a studio in Prague. Um, and I was there kind of half apprentice, half working, because I was still studying, I think, that time, or I was maybe working in some other job, and I was just doing it a few days a week. And yeah, slowly finding myself in that new path, and somehow it just became the main one over the time. Yeah. And yeah, I guess that's maybe also an answer for your previous question, because I think if there would be someone teaching me, uh, they would maybe try to push me some kind of tattoo style. And because it just kind of happened over the time, it yeah, it became this my style without any rules and any. Yeah, I never really know how to describe it, or when people ask me what tattoos do you do, it's like, I don't know, I don't even know how to call it. So yeah, that's maybe why. And then I actually did um, like a course, because in Czech it's necessary, if you want to work as a tattoo artist, you have to do that course. Yeah, so I did that, and then I actually moved to New Zealand, and I never really needed that. Yeah, so I moved here, and I started full time as a tattoo artist, which was also a coincidence, because I was supposed to be here for 1 week in the studio, and it's been 5 years now, and I'm still here. Yeah.
Mm. That's so fascinating and also interesting. The turn of event that took just like by learning a technique and then discovering that that technique was so interesting because it was not as
Mm,
simple as drawing, and that led you to the current journey that you're exploring and growing from that experience into the unique way in which you represent yourself through art and unable to describe it because it's so unique that someone need to
mm,
see it to know what we are talking about. And that's the beauty of your style in which I connect to. I really enjoy it, and yeah, it's something that even for me would be hard to describe, and I wish to invite everyone who is listening and it might be curious to go and check your pages, which anyway will be
mm,
available in the description of this event, because it's something really special that you do. And one of the things that I enjoy the most is that connection with the inner child is it looks like I guess that in English is storytelling books, but I'm not sure like those
mhm,
the story like the once upon a time story. That's how I see your perceive your art, and thinking that it started from something as a flat surface, for example, like a paper, and then is moving, combining with the shape of the body in which
mm,
you need to perform those tattoos is quite impressive to
mm.
understand, and diving into the journey with you. So thank you for that.
And I was also thinking um, why it became that interesting for me. I think because that time, if I remember right, when I started tattooing, I was uh, freelancer, and I was most of the time by myself at home because I was doing some illustrations and paintings and all of that. And I found myself kind of trapped into that circle of doing it always the same way. I don't know if you have that in your art. It's like you want to do it a bit differently or bring something new in it, and then you ended up doing it the same because you are the one who chose the theme or who chose the colors and all of that. And I found really fascinating this collaboration with the clients because it kind of keeps me challenged all the time. And yeah, that's what we were talking about before. I really love this aspect of them bringing me those ideas and challenges, and I feel like that helps me to keep moving and keep progressing because it's every day different.
And what I would like to share with you is also related with probably this extra connection that you had to have with yourself once you had to recreate all your social media, and so also deciding the name. And I wonder if in that space where you had to choose something new, something also new into your art started, possibly this connection that you are sharing about how you are keep motivating yourself through what the requests are, or if there was even something else that marked that moment for you of recreating a new page, a new blank page for you to fill up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I maybe allowed myself way more to be myself and do it really my way because I think before I felt maybe there are some expectations about tattoo artists and I don't know the whole industry, and I always felt like I don't really fit into that. I'm not really like a cool dark person or yeah, I don't know. That's what I would imagine if you would say tattoo artist. And I'm not really like that. So I think I just allowed myself to forget about that and do it, use that opportunity to just relax in who I am and do it like 100% my way. Even though I was doing it before, but restarting again helped me to yeah, maybe like relax even more into that. And the yeah, I think also the main theme of my work became nature and all like that's yeah, I think that's the connection through all my tattoos is nature. All the tattoos are related to the nature. And yeah, I think that's it. Nature and be more authentic.
Yeah, and that was going to be actually my next question. Knowing that you as me are European, but from our sharing, I noticed that we're both sharing the connection, the particular connection that this country can bring, especially towards nature, and that also was partial. No, actually, the whole request was around nature for my tattoo as well, and so I wonder how much of this country that we choose to live in this moment and time might have influenced the way that you are discovering yourself, even through that type of connection with nature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I 100% agree. For me, I've been always quite natural person, I would say, but after moving here, it became really strong. And from what I've noticed from a lot of people, this land has something very strong that makes people feeling like really feeling the connection. And it became necessary for me to go out to the nature and just be barefoot and touch the ground and really like connect with the land here. I don't know where this power comes from, but I can definitely feel it. Yeah. So that's true. And so many people feel that, feel the same. Hmm. I don't know what is it.
Yeah, I also don't know myself, but I truly connect with that and imagining myself to act and behave in the same way that it's usual here in New Zealand. Imagine it in my hometown back in Italy. Well,
Mm.
feel like I'm the crazy lady of the town, walking barefoot unless you're on the beach, and that's something very special that I can find here. And I can notice as well how those elements are becoming so special and important for me. And I
Mhm.
wonder if is a connection that might have been brought to us through um, the ancestor of this land, or what we can perceive with our brand new eyes, like new country, and everything seems new to us, to the point that we can appreciate also those small details of how this culture is making alive um,
Mm.
this type of connection that then reflect into the way that you are exploring yourself through reconnecting ink as well.
I think for me, it's something I just opened in myself here because last year I went back to Czech for the first time, and I was wondering if I will feel the same connection with the nature there, and I did in a little bit different way than I feel it here, but it felt like something just has moved inside of me and open up, and now it's not specifically related to this place, even though I feel it really strongly here, but it definitely came from this land. Mm. And now I can even see like my ideal future tattooing journey would be even more connected with the nature. I I feel like that's the way. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Julie, for that,
Mm.
and I absolutely resonate with that. This country has such a big component in that aspect of connecting with nature, that then whatever you decide to be, that connection comes back, especially in our native
Mm.
countries. And I absolutely can see the beauty as well into the shapes that nature can support us to see. In this country specifically, I notice that there are trees that are so they have so many beautiful branches that are always an inspiration to be connected in that moment to the tree itself, and then
Mhm.
trying to recreate those weird shape that those arms from the tree are creating to develop also the kind
Mm.
of design that I'm, yeah, curious to explore myself too.
Mhm. Yeah, I always feel like there is actually no need to create anything because it's everything is already out there, and it's more just about observing and seeing the details and just reusing them in the art form. Mm. Because it's fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think
Mm.
even just going back to the question that I never replied to when you were asking if I find myself as well in my art, creating the same patterns over and over and never getting out of my own comfort zone in terms of art. And I can definitely see how even just like creating that connection and witnessing nature myself, it has given me a opportunity to see the world with different eyes, and then trying to work on that even in the way that I'm expressing myself. So I can resonate as well with you in your terms, in way in which every chapter of your life has given you something new to discover, but then to the final realization that most of the things are already there. There is not much new to create, just to be inspired by what we can see and observe in our everyday life.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's coming back to the name I chose. It's reconnecting with the nature as well. That's the big part of that name.
Hmm.
Mm.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Julie. And just checking in with you, arriving to this point in our conversation, I wonder if there is anything else that you consider important and valuable to share that we might not have touched yet, either in relationship with the tattoo experience, or with your own art, or anything else that we might have missed up to this point in our conversation. With also the invitation of saying, no, we actually cover all the aspects.
Now I might just say that I really honor and appreciate all my clients that trust that I will create something they wanna wear for the rest of their life. And it's, yeah, I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate all the connections with all the people, because so many of my clients became my very close friends. And that's such a big part of that job. Or I don't know, it doesn't even feel like a job. But yeah, that's something I really value.
Thank you so much for that. And I can definitely see the trust, to the unknown as well, of what an experience for a tattoo might look like, and connection, for the way that you can truly bond with someone that has your skin in their hands, sort of, and for something that can be truly important and special, to mark a moment in our life in whatever way we wish and resonate with. So yeah, thank you for acknowledging all those people that came into your life because of that.
Yeah.
And arriving almost to the end of our conversation, I actually would like to ask you our final question, which, take it as it comes. I never shared it earlier, so nobody needs to prepare, but I know that it could be quite overwhelming sometimes to just like, don't know what to share. So no pressure. But my invitation for you to conclude our conversation is, if you could share 3 empowering messages that you wish to share with us today, with as a reminder, possibly to yourself, and for us, me and our listener included, to embrace them, no matter how small or big they are in this time. And yeah.
Hmm. I think in the terms of art, it could be that it's always good to start somehow, and doesn't really matter how, because the art and the expression just helps to release whatever we are holding inside. And it could be such a good way how to reconnect with yourself, and how to rebalance whatever you need to in your life. And I feel like a lot of people are scared it won't be good enough or the result wouldn't be as they expected. And it's not about that. And I feel like that's such a powerful way how to work on yourself and on the balance in your life and feeling good. So the message could be just start and don't really expect any result, or like don't be scared of doing things, trying, because I feel like everyone is creative and it's such a good tool we all can use, but so many people are scared to do that. So that could be one. And two more. Oh, I don't know. I think, yeah, maybe those things that I'm challenging myself with now is opening up. Don't be afraid to open up people and new experiences and new, just stepping out of the comfort zone. And I feel like that's one of the really important things in a life, making the connections with people and building the community. And that won't happen if you won't be able to open up. So that's my big thing lately, trying to open up. And the third thing would be maybe slow down and be gentle to yourself, because I feel that's something what is really missing in this hectic, everyday, busy life. And then we are missing so many beautiful details and moments of the day. Yeah, slow down and make art and open up.
Thank you, Julie. This is one of my favorite moments in the conversation, because I always take this message as a reminder as well for myself, and embrace them as much as I can, for my journey as well. And I'm always hoping that this could be also inspirational for whoever is listening in this moment. So thank you so much for sharing them.
Thank you.
And yeah, I just would like to thank you as we arrive at the end of this conversation, and reminding one more time that for whoever wish to possibly be in contact with you, and discovering what you're doing, but also getting in contact with you and connect with you, your social media channels will be available in the description of this episode, so that more people might get the chance to reconnect with themselves and with you as well in this journey.
Thank you. It was actually easier than I thought.
I'm glad to hear that. So thank you so much once again, Julie. Thank you for
Thank you.
discovering this journey with me as your first chance to participate in a podcast. I really appreciate your energy, your sharing, and I'm really hoping that for whoever is listening also some insight came to your way as well, and you possibly be inspired by Julie's voice and sharing as well. So thank you everyone for listening, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you.
Grazie per averci fatto compagnia. We hope you enjoyed your time with us. If you wish to stay updated and connected, visit us on our social media channels and our website www.artyoga.co. Ci sentiamo presto. Ciao! See you!